kept us as a leader. It has kept us at the forefront of technology. And look at the numbers in terms of donations. As employees, we are a giving company. And that to me is exciting, to think that we are generous, not only with our time, but with our funds. And as a company, as an employee base, we love to give. We give in many ways. And if you become part of our company, you will know that we have give events, micro give events. We have a give month. And so generosity is part of our values. So I align with these values at Microsoft all the time. Beyond the numbers, you think about the things that we are doing in the world. So when we talk about sustainability, renewable energy, this is the culture you're going to come into. We go beyond the product and service. When I was writing my book, I learned a whole lot because you have to do a lot of research to write a book. And in my book, Brand Storytelling, I learned many unobvious ideas, they're called, about how brands are being seen by newer generations, the alphas, generation alphas and generation Zs, and the older millennials and newer millennials. And a thing that I learned that was really interesting was thinking about how you look at Microsoft as a brand. You're seeing Microsoft and you're saying, hey, is it a friend? Can I befriend Microsoft? Can I be a part of it? Can I align to its culture? Does it do it for me the way that I want it to? Does it go beyond a product or service? Is it just the bottom line? And you can see here when we think about culture at Microsoft, we go way beyond the product and the service. We truly are empowering the world with all of our benefits and all the things that we continue to do. Just during COVID-19, we immediately came into the tech space to help with apps and different technologies that we offered to be able to move forward and faster through this pandemic. So we step in, we are at the forefront, and we enable our technologies in many ways: education, healthcare, you name it, we got it. And so we're thinking about when Satya came on board, and we were just so excited. I wrote about that in my book, how I felt when he came in and became our CEO. One of the things that he set out to do was he wrote a book. I know, I'm sure many of you will know. It's called Hit Refresh. And for us, Hit Refresh really meant refreshing our culture, what we were about, how we went to market, how we welcomed other people's ideas and perspectives, how diversity and inclusion played out. So I have been a part of this experience at Microsoft. I've personally lived it. I was before Satya and after Satya, and I can tell you the transformation from us internally has been completely a transformation of empathy. We lead with empathy. I write about empathy. And it has transformed me as a person. So when you think about the core values of Microsoft, it is about empowerment. We can't empower other people. I can't empower you as a student if I'm not empathizing with you and understanding what makes you empowered. How do you feel empowered? We understand empowerment as an emotion. It is a different lived experience for all of it. So we are learning to be empathetics, empaths. It's a thing. We're learning to learn more. We became from know-it-alls, the tech giant, to learn-it-alls. And so the culture really is, I know not much. I'm going to come in and learn a whole lot. I can fail fast. It's okay. A lot of students will come in and think, wow, I have to really show myself. And I'm scared that if I make a mistake. No, we are a company that really allows you to have that conversation and a dialogue and say, hey, I'm just learning. We don't expect you to know everything right away. You won't know everything. It's a very big company. It's very overwhelming. So you come in with a space where it's safe for you to feel that you can bring your passions, who you are, what you don't know and what you do know. And we actually welcome that as part of your perspectives. When you think about our mission, again, specifically at the big Microsoft mission is every person or organization, we want to empower them to achieve more. At the global mission for intern program is we want to empower students to live their dreams at Microsoft. So that is how we want to empower you. We want you to tell us what your dreams are. We want you to use the Microsoft platform to develop that dream. As Karan said when he mentioned my career journey, I am everything. I have written a book, I've done so many things, and I can do it with the Microsoft platform. Microsoft has enabled me, has empowered me to do something like writing a book. That's incredible, right? We've seen people do musicals. We've seen people, I have one of my best friends, she's a fashion engineer. She's an engineer and she's a fashion designer, and she's been able to marry the two. So we see a lot of examples of engineers and people that not only bring their skill sets as hard skills, but also themselves, and to say, how do I use Microsoft to enable who we are? At Microsoft internship programs, we offer a thing called co-creation. Co-creation, I'll get a little bit more into it later, but co-creation is this idea that you can actually empower yourself to bring an idea to the table and we'll make it happen for you. So I'll talk a little bit more later, but this is basically, to us, the culture is empowerment. How do you empower yourself? How do you empower others? How do we collectively empower the planet? So think about that and how you're thinking about your own empowerment. What does that mean to you? We really have this saying called "come as you are and do what you love." Really, it is something that when I came to Microsoft, I saw no other company offered this idea of me being myself. I was not born in the States. I am from Venezuela. I was born in the slums of Venezuela, so a very hard childhood. No money, and no resources. Truly, success to me was what we will eat tomorrow, how we will live tomorrow. And then I would have never imagined that Microsoft will call me one day, and they did. And I love that idea that Microsoft enables you and empowers you, and it welcomes you to come as you are, and then do what you love. And it's something that I have personally lived at Microsoft. So we take this quote in our internship program that Satya says a lot, and he said it in his book, is to use the Microsoft as a platform to pursue your passions. To us, you have to think about what they are. What are your passions? Do you know what you're really excited to do? Do you know what you can explore? If you don't know what is, if you don't have a specific passion right now, are you exploring different things that you may have thought about? You get curious. What are those things? Microsoft offers this platform for you to come in as an intern and really explore those things and say, wow, I didn't know I really enjoyed doing this piece. I want to go do that. I want to explore that. There's many ways that we offer this at Microsoft, and I'm going to share how. The way that we do things at Microsoft and using the Microsoft as a platform is basically impacting millions of people. We enable you to continue education and training. We elevate your passions with projects called co-creation. Again, I'll mention you a little bit about that. But this is all to show you this slide here. I just want you to start thinking about, what is that? What is it that you love? What is the work that you're going to come do? Don't just get in and say, I got into Microsoft and that's it. That's what I needed. No, it's about, hey, I got in. What are my opportunities now? How do I grow my next 10 years, 20 years at Microsoft? What does that look like in my mind? How do I impact, and how do I enable that impact to other people? How do I continue my education? Microsoft offers a lot of benefits to students across the board on certifications and different other platforms that you can learn. We acquired GitHub. There's so much that you can explore, obviously, and elevate your personal passions. So think about that and think about the culture. For us, this is the pillars of who we are as a culture. Growth mindset is, to us, primarily what we are driving at Microsoft from a leadership perspective. You do not come in knowing it all, and we don't expect you to, and you don't show up like that because you don't know it all, and nobody knows everything. So come in with this idea that you're going to learn, that you're going to grow yourself, and you will. We are customer obsessed. We truly drive everything by our customer. We want to consider who our customers are. Sometimes our customers are internal, not external. So where you come into the space will differ into the teams that you show and what customers you're serving. But truly, you will hear this idea of customer obsession a whole lot, because we drive our business by our customer. We are diverse and inclusive. Those two things for us are very important. And I can share with you that given the recent injustices that showed up here in the US that made news around the globe, Satya set out to drive even more initiatives around diversity and inclusion. So we are driving more learning. You can expect to come in and learn a whole lot about what diversity and inclusion means, injustices and racism. These are things that we do not tolerate at Microsoft. We are very, very, we have our policies. We are having our policies for employee behavior. You can go on our website and read about these business of conduct areas. So we're very passionate and very strongly, opposed to these ideas of discrimination. We welcome diverse and inclusive culture. What does that mean? Well, that means that you get to bring your lived experience at Microsoft. You can sit at a table and say, hey, when I lived in this country, I learned this, and this is part of that diverse, welcome perspective. So nobody has your story, you do. And when you share it, you bring that diversity and inclusion that we're aiming for. So be ready to share your stories, be ready to have an opinion. Don't be shy. Be ready to really contribute your insights that you bring to the table. We are one Microsoft, even though we are a very big company and global. We truly try to act as one people, and you will see that across all of our functions. You will see that with our leaders. It is really important for us to really have that same voice and that brand. So I'm someone who's always out there. I showcase my personality a whole lot on social media, but at the same time, I'm representing Microsoft, and that's important. And it's also about making a difference. So again, for us, it's beyond the number and the bottom lines. We truly aim to make a difference in the world, and we are definitely doing that, more and more of that every single time, especially when we have opportunities like COVID and racial injustice. Just a few ideas around our pillars for advancing the future. So this is regarding sustainability and social responsibility. So for us, these are our pillars under sustainability and social responsibility. We work for this. We definitely drive a lot of our business initiatives around this, empowering people, our communities, our planet, AI for good. I'm sure you've heard of those initiatives. So a whole lot of this, again, to showcase it's not just a product or service, it's how these technologies enable and empower our planet beyond those services. Here, I'm going to show a little bit more, getting a little bit deeper into our culture and what our solution areas looks like for us. So we have the intelligent cloud and the intelligent edge. We are focused right now, a whole of our business is focused on AI, as you can imagine. And so these are ubiquitous computing, artificial intelligence, and a lot of the multi-sense and multi-device experiences. We are also getting into quantum technology. Some of our internships now were open this year within quantum, which is really exciting. So we're definitely expanding into the quantum space, and we're thinking a whole lot, we're driving a whole lot with our AI technology and cloud technology. For empowered experiences, we have what we call the 6 business functional areas that you see here. So gaming, modern life, modern workplace, business applications, all of these application infrastructure and data and AI. So these are basically the pillars that Microsoft drives their business through. I will show a map of how that aligns later on to internships, but basically this is how we drive our business, and then how that empowers the experiences that we drive for our customers. So here you go. Everything, what everybody wants to know, the Microsoft journey and the internships. So I'm going to speak about our general internship journey, general meaning the bulk of our internships. So within our intern program, we have many types of internships. We have anything from an undergrad. We actually have some high school internships here in the HQ. So we have high school, we have undergrad, we have postgrad, MBAs, PhD, we have research, we have quantum now. So there's a lot of breadth of under intern program. There's also local. So we bring around 4,000 to 6,000 interns per year, and that will be 3,000 of those, or half of those, will come to HQ, to Seattle. The other ones are spread around the world, including India and Hyderabad. So there's many locations, and there's many types of internships. So I will share with you, this is the internship program, and it is the bulk of our program that we offer. But just keep in mind, this is not all of them. So I'll share the other ones as well. So we begin with our Explore internship program. So that's typically what we call early in career, and that will be for a sophomore, a freshman or a sophomore in undergrad. They will come back time and time again for another internship. So the offer they will get at the end of the internship is to come back as an intern again, and come back again, and come back until they graduate, and eventually they will have a full-time role. So that's what Explore comes in, typically served in the US. University internship, as all the other ones, are typically a 12-week program. And they are usually for junior and seniors that will be graduating. Also, we take anybody who's graduated. You can apply if you graduated this year. You have 12 months to apply after you graduated to also, you can be part of the internship. After 12 months, you are not able to apply to an internship. You would apply to a full-time employee role. After the university internship, then we make a direct offer for a full-time employee role. So typically, most of our interns will convert to an employee. And that's what we're trying to do. Now, that doesn't serve in every location or every internship. For example, a research intern will not come back as an employee because they just came to do their internship as for research and then they left. It's a very niche type of internship. But this is typically what will happen. This is typically the journey. So what you see here again is the very general journey of an explorer intern, summer intern, and a garage intern. So we also offer garage internship in Cambridge and Vancouver. It's typically 12 weeks. Again, the India internship is a little bit different as well, but they're all kind of like the same in the idea that you will get an offer for a full-time employee at the end of the internship. The projects that interns work on will differ. So let me explain a little bit of that process. So the way internships work is the business, the functional areas that you saw, the 6 functional areas, people in those business will say, hey, Miri, we need so many interns this year. We need to hire so many interns in research or in quantum or in so many software engineers or so many finance engineers. So depending on the demand of the business is when we actually go out to fill these internships. So the headcount will open up by the business. They'll say, we need so many. And then we say, okay, great. Now we're going to go find those interns. And so our recruiting team sets out to do that. The projects are set by those teams, the same teams that requested that headcount. They will have projects set up for you. You'll work with you directly on those projects. They could be customer facing. I'll explain a little bit more about the type of projects and the type of internships that are available. Again, there's internships in all family solution areas, so non-technical as well as technical, but the bulk of our internships are technical. So most are engineering and software and hardware engineering. And then you have a smaller number, a very small, that we call BizFun, which is the business functions that we have. So again, you're going to have a lot of opportunities to integrate yourself into our culture and receive the different benefits. Benefits do vary by location and by state and by country. But then that depends on what we are offering by the government, what Microsoft can offer in the location. One of the things that we also offer is this idea called Aspire. So the Aspire experience, I don't manage that. There's another lead. This is actually after you become an employee. So once you're hired at Microsoft as a full-time employer, not as an intern, you now become an Aspire. An Aspire is typically it's a 2-year program that helps you integrate yourself into the Microsoft culture, because it is hard. We don't want to just hire you and you come out of school and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. Microsoft is so big and I don't know what to do next. I don't even know where to find, my ID. So Aspire helps you kind of map out your career at Microsoft, what you want to do next. You came in as an intern, you did an internship in the summer, you had a great time. What's next for you? So we do connect with Aspire. We partner with the Aspire team. You will find if you come in as an intern that we have some Aspire champs that we call mentors. They can mentor you as well because they used to be interns before. So you have a lot of resources and support to get you to navigate through your next few years at Microsoft, if you will. This here is the way that full-time opportunities are set for engineering. So here's a map of the 4 business areas and then the type of roles that you can have as a full-time role. And if you look at this and then you look at the actual intern, so the internship opportunities, it's more of like we have within development engineering, more of those internships available. Then you have under data science and hardware, what's available there as well. So we are trying to map from an internship perspective, map you back to these full-time opportunities that are offered later on. So then you can actually map out your career within those technologies that are available at Microsoft in those functional areas. Within these roles, you're going to have the program management role, which is one of the most popular roles that a lot of interns come into. Here you have some competencies, the overview of the role, what you would be doing as a PM. There's a lot of fun being had in this PM role from projects perspective. Typically, you will be part of a project that it's kind of the team has been working on for a while, and so you can come in and really help drive those that vision, that design. Build some functional specs. It's really, really exciting things that are happening with that project that you could see has an impact directly on our business and what we're working on. There's also the SWE role, which is software engineering. As you can see here, a lot of competencies are hard core skills that we're looking at for technical skills. When you come in into the actual interviews for these, you will have a technical interview as well as a behavioral interview. So you be prepared for both. We do offer some tips and tricks on interviewing in a LinkedIn group that we have. It's called the Microsoft Recruiting. You can join that group. You're welcome to join it. We have our recruiting team there. We have past interns there that offer some tips and tricks. And also my team is connected there. So you can connect to my team intern program. And really, we give a lot of proactive tips and tricks onto ideas and questions that you may have regarding these internships and these roles. There's hardware engineer. So there's typically the competencies that you will do and what you'll be doing. So a lot of debugging, thinking about a product architecture, thinking about the different disciplines that are offered and how the different hardware solutions that we offer at Microsoft, which teams you'll come into, we don't know. It depends again on the demand, but there's a lot of great products out there that we are working on, as you may know. So a lot of fun hardware projects that you can work on. We also have customer-facing technology. So something as you can, come in as a consultant, a support engineer, or a TAM, which is a technical account manager. So these are roles specifically that are technical roles that are customer-facing, where you will actually talk to our customers, where you will have that connection and that relationship building. So these are, based on our customers and business needs. And again, it all depends on where Microsoft is in the demand that we have for these roles. And then the non-technical ones are based by our business functions. So here you have the 4 core business functions at Microsoft. You have marketing, finance, sales, and HR. Within those 4 core functions, you have opportunities for full-time here. And then it's actually the same for interns. So within marketing, you can come and become a channel or partner marketing manager. You could be a product marketing manager. In finance, there are many different roles, and it depends on the location and the team that you come into. Sales, same thing. There's a lot of sales roles available. And within HR, you will also have rotational programs that last up to 3 years. So many different non-technical options available for you as well. Within marketing, you'll see here, you can go into the M&O function or the CMO. M&O stands for marketing and operations. So more of that internal marketing, channel marketing idea. CMO stands for Chief Marketing Officer. That's the operations under the brand side, the very direct outside customer facing area. Within human resources, there's a lot to be offered. I sit in HR right now, and we see a lot of different areas. Like I said, there's a rotational experience. There's a 3-year capability building. There's immersive learning. So there's a whole lot that if you are within HR and you're curious about coming into HR, that rotational program is very robust, and it typically will last 3 years before you actually choose which role you would like to join. Within finance, again, there are 3 different pillars. There's the global sales organization, the central finance team, and the product engineering team. So again, it depends on what is available and what teams are looking for. And that's what I wanted to kind of show the breadth of what you can come into within finance as well. And then within operations, we have something called ROCs in the US and all over the world. These are regional operations center. So we have Americas, we have Europe, we have APAC. So all of these different regions that we offer, and within, of course, within the US as well. So think about, basically operations serves after sales have made the sale. Operations comes in, makes sure that sales comes through all the way through. What are the programs? What are the partners that we use? What are the technologies that we use? So a lot within operations that's also available to you. And then for MBAs and technical sales. So this is for students that have, the post-grad. We have roles that include anything from account executives all the way to customer managers. And there's locations across US and also across the world. But again, that differs. I'm talking right now for the US. You can come actually to the US. So a lot of the questions that I get is, can I come as an international student? The answer is yes. We have a lot of students come in internationally. And like I said, half of our students will actually come into the US from to HQ and serve their internship here in the US. And again, half of them are also spread out through different locations. So not only in HQ, all over the world. This is a map of Microsoft engineering, just to give you an idea of the actual products and services that fall under each of our leaders under those 6 functional areas that I mentioned before. Now, Harry Shum and Jeff Weiner have moved on, so I have to update that file. But just before you look at the picture, look actually at the names: cloud, AI and platform, experience and devices, artificial intelligence. That's basically the different technologies and services and solutions that we offer between each of these functional areas. And then for the business function, it's the other one, right? It's what I mentioned: marketing, operations, sales. These are all basically our leaders there, and what different types of businesses are offered under their specific branch. So you see, there's a whole lot. Microsoft is very big, and you can get put into any team, into any of these spaces based on your experience, based on the team demand. So what everybody wants to know, the application process: how do I get in? That sounds great, Miri, but I want to get in. Tell me how to shine my resume. Okay, let's do it. So the first thing I want to tell you is, where do I start? You start online. There is no other place to start. Do not send me your resume. I can't do anything with it. I can't share it with anybody because of privacy, rules and regulations. So do not send me your resume. There's nothing I can do with that. Applying online is really important because, number one, it brings equity to all applicants. I know you're going to be like, well, Miri, everybody applies, I'm not going to get through. That's not true. I can tell you the process is that we make sure that if you meet the qualifications, we have a robust number of recruiters that are looking at resumes, that are studying and observing and looking at the best candidates out there for our programs. So please apply online. That also tells you real time what is available. So back to what is on demand. We don't know what's on demand until the business tells us what's on demand. So if you say, hey, Miri, I don't see a role for this, that's probably because it's not on demand yet. You have to keep checking to see when it becomes available, typically around August. So right now, beginning August, we will begin our application process and hiring process for next year internships. August is the time. This is when you get to do a few things and tips and tricks that I'm going to give you right now. The first one is your resume. I really recommend that you find someone or hire someone to build your resume. Look at the function, look at the job description, and make sure that your resume showcases exactly those functions and those qualifications. Because if it doesn't, the chances are that the system is not going to match, and it's going to say, oh, this person's missing one qualification, disqualified. And so you don't even make it to the second phase. So you want to make sure that those keywords are entered and they're saying you have a match. And so you can get to the next phase. This happens when you have a resume builder, typically a professional one. Invest in yourself. Do not send me your resume for me to review it. I don't have time. I would love to see hundreds of your resumes, but I can't. And I don't get paid for that. I'm sorry. I'm in charge of so many other things. So please invest in yourself and hire a resume builder that can help you make sure that you're matching those qualifications. The second part is social media. We do look at your social media. I can't send your resume, but I can share your LinkedIn profile. And I have shared people's LinkedIn profiles. So please make sure that your LinkedIn profile is optimal. What does optimal look? Well, I'm glad you asked. Optimal is telling your story. Optimal is not a copy paste of your resume. You already have a resume. Your resume tells me one story. Your LinkedIn profile is a real estate that you can use in so many beautiful ways to showcase who you are, what you're about, what your core values are, what your passions are. You can use video, you can highlight some resources, you can highlight some files that you've created, you can highlight some whatever coding, anything that you want, you can do there. And that's where you should be doing it, because we do look at your profile. So make sure your LinkedIn profile is optimal, the best state. Get educated, spend time. This is your career. Spend time optimizing your LinkedIn profile. If you look at my profile, clearly I'm not on the job hunt, but you can see how different it is. It doesn't say a whole lot about my resume. I'm showcasing a whole lot of other things about me beyond my education and beyond my, my history and my qualifications as a marketer or as a head of global internships. So make sure that two complement each other, don't copy each other, okay? Now, August begins the process where typically our recruiters will begin to receive a lot of resumes. This is when the business is saying, hey, I need 12 interns here. I need 20 interns here. I need 12 interns here. So we begin to match that up and go, oh, wow, we have so many headcounts that we need to fill. Our recruiters will go and will do digital sourcing, huge right now, because they're not typically, they go to campus. Right now, we're not going on campus because of COVID. So this is your opportunity to get seen. If we don't typically go to your university, we're going to your LinkedIn. So go ahead and make sure it's available, because that's the new norm. It's digital sourcing. So digital sourcing, typically universities, Microsoft will have a presence in some of them, will show up and do some job fairs. So recruiters get very busy in this season trying to find that talent. That will last all the way to November. So I know a lot of you will say and will email me and say, Miri, I submitted my application. When do I hear back? When do I hear back? When do I hear back? You won't hear back just yet. It's going to be a few months. So be patient. It's going to be a few months. We got to sort through thousands of applications, and we do. And that's typically comes in around November time is when recruiters will have the opportunity to stop recruiting and say, okay, let's sort through the applications. That's a whole lot of applications, as you can imagine. So they get through that in November and December. In around January timeframe, you will begin to hear back, for interviews. So again, there's a whole lot of stuff that happens in between, a lot of months that happen in between. You reaching out and asking doesn't really do anything, doesn't change anything. So just look at the process and understand the process so that you don't get frustrated. I know a lot of people will say, well, I'm also applying in other roles. And so I want to make sure that I don't miss my opportunity at Microsoft. This is why we're sharing this with you, so that you know, typically around January is when we begin to schedule you for that first interview. And the final round will happen around February. By March, we're typically closing those PCNs, those headcounts, and basically making those offers at the end. So by March timeframe, we will be having those offers being made to come into summer internships. We do offer off-season internships. They're very small in number, typically around 150 per winter and in April, in spring. So winter and springtime. Actually, we call it fall and winter, not spring. But they're very small in numbers. So typically, again, I'm talking generally time frame for summer internships. So here's the codes for you to go ahead and apply if you are in a sophomore or a freshman. You can apply to the Explore internships for SWE and PM. So the technical ones, there's your code as well. So there's, again, what's available there. You got to keep checking, because it's not going to become available. There's something might become available tomorrow for quantum. It really depends on the business. So just keep checking. If something's not available in your space, don't fret. It's gonna, it's going to become more and more as August timeline comes in. You're going to see a lot more of those roles coming in because the demand's we're basically working on the demand right now. And again, can you apply to different countries? You can. Will it be easier? It might not. So it depends, especially now with COVID. It might change visa requirements, working requirements. Typically, we would work it so that the student can come into the country, obviously, and work within their team. Now with COVID, there's a lot of different guidelines around a virtual intern. How does he get paid if he's in a country, but he's working in another country? So there's a lot of things that we have to get through to manage around COVID for virtual internships. If you're curious how our internships are looking like right now with virtual, they are basically the same. They're just not on campus. So they get matched to a team. They're working on a project. We're using our technologies, our own Teams channel to connect virtually. So our students are working from home and they're connected to their teams in home. So it's basically the same you saw, but just virtual, and nothing has changed. So again, begin your application online. You can go to Microsoft.com/university and you'll begin to see what roles are available there. And then when you think about how to apply, what makes you stand out, it's really your story. It's really using your channels. It's thinking about your culture and how that brings into the Microsoft culture. What does empowerment mean to you? How are you going to talk to an interviewer about that, about your own lived experience? And how are your passions going to match up with using Microsoft as a platform, as I said before? I know I've talked a whole lot, so I'm gonna leave it now for Q&A because I know we have a whole lot of questions and I wanna make sure we leave time for questions.
So, good morning, ma'am. This is Namit Desai, the marketing head of Hackoverflow Technical Society, and I carry forward the moderation henceforth. The session was really insightful and erudite. So we'll now move towards the Q&A session where we have plenty of questions been lined up. So attendees, do raise your hand and I allow some of you to ask your questions directly to ma'am.
So, Rohan, you can ask your question. I have just unmuted you.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you are an author and you recently penned book Brand Storytelling is nominated for New York Big Book Awards. First of all, congratulations for the nomination, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I am also starting out on writing and authoring an entire book is tedious itself. So how did you balance your work life and life as an author? And how did you tackle those tough phases of writing?
Oh, Rohan, thank you so much for that question. I wasn't expecting that one. Thank you. Well, first of all, I did not balance it at all. I almost died. I had to really put a whole lot of my life on pause. I will give you the process. I had to talk to my family and say to my kids, mom's going away for about 8 months because she's going to start writing. Going away meaning I wasn't going to be available to be with them, with my family. I actually had to write. I was still working and I was actually finishing my master's. So it was the last year of my master's. So it was like my last project. It was very intense and I was working as well. So I had to write as a writer. I don't know if you're going to be a published. I hope you become a published author. A lot of people are self-publishing. So it really depends on how you're going to go about it. But when you go with the publisher, as I did, they tell you how many words they have to have. So for me, it was 70 to 80,000 words, which is a whole lot of words. And I had to submit a certain number of words per week. So I decided, okay, how much can I write? How fast can I write? How long does it take to research for me to write each chapter? And I defined that very methodically. And I learned that I could do it by doing 3 to 4 hours every day, and then 12 hours every week, 24 hours every weekend. So 12 hours on Saturday, 12 hours on Sunday. So I was waking up at 3:30 or 4:30 every morning before going to work, writing 3 to 4 hours, and then go to work, finish work, and then come back at night, finish my school. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I would write 12 hours straight. So it was really hard. And I will recommend that you do it. It is a cathartic experience, a life-changing experience. And it's hard, but like anything in life, after you do it, it is definitely something that is worth it. So give yourself time and prioritize. You're going to have to drop something off and say no to a lot of things. I literally went away from my social life for a while, and a lot of the events that I do, I stopped and I couldn't travel. I was just home. I was writing for 8 months.
Thank you for the insights, ma'am.
So
Thank you. I'll look forward to your book.
I hope, Rohan, it was very informative for you because it was really informative for us. So now I'll allow Sajak Kothari. You can unmute yourself and ask the question to ma'am. Sajak, are you here?
Sajak, we have unmuted you. You can ask your question directly to the ma'am. I guess we should move on to some other content. I contested. Yeah, Neha. Okay.
I want to good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, I want to know that Microsoft only takes students from tier 1 colleges or tier 3 colleges also with skills get the chance and are working in Microsoft.
Yeah, I know that's a question a lot of people have been asking, and there's actually a thread going on LinkedIn about this. So I want to make it clear that we hire from all the colleges. You can apply from wherever college you're from. As long as you meet the qualifications, you can apply. What people think is different is because we actually go to different colleges and show presence for sourcing. Our recruiters will do this. It depends on where their spaces are. So they'll go to specific colleges to source talent. But if you you apply, you can apply and you could be from any college. So the fact that Microsoft doesn't have a presence in your college does not mean that it's not a school that it's not going to hire. We hire from everywhere, and more now than ever. I can tell you, as we look at the conversations that are being had from the discrimination, injustices cases that we've seen, Satya is very, very committed to making sure that there's transparency about our diversity hiring, and that we are looking at every college and that we are, hiring and sourcing talent, and not specifically from schools.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, hello, ma'am. Rishi this side from IEEE HMR ITM. I already pitched you for the webinar on 8 July.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, ma'am. So I wanted to know, ma'am, put some, give me some views about entrepreneurship. How you think about how entrepreneurship works for the students and how student can go into entrepreneurship on a very early stage, and they get development, and they don't get any problem in it. How do you feel like it in case of entrepreneurship?
Sorry, I didn't hear the last part of your question around internships. Can you repeat that?
Ma'am, actually, he was talking about entrepreneurship. So
or entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question? I was hearing internship. He was a little muffled. Can you repeat the question, Karan, if you've understood?
Actually, ma'am, he was asking that how in the early stages of college life, student can get into the entrepreneurship.
How a student can get into entrepreneurship?
Yeah.
Within Microsoft or just in general?
Yeah, just in general, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'm an entrepreneur, right? I have a business. I have a consulting business outside of Microsoft. I do speaking engagements, and I also share the learnings from storytelling that I have for other companies and brands. So entrepreneurship is definitely a path where, for you, when you think about what you want to do outside of your what you call 9 to 5 or working for a company because you have an idea, it really is something that I recommend 100%. I recommend it because you, especially for this new generation, I think there is so much platform that you can leverage, so much technology that you can drive for your own business, especially for technology. If you're really leading into technology, there's so many things that can branch out into AI or whatever you're looking for. So entrepreneurship is definitely a good path. It's a hard path because you then have to kind of count on yourself, and maybe you can fail a few times before you get it. So it's a hard path, but you do, if I've seen people that have started it and continued, and then they obviously branch out really good. My experience with entrepreneurship has been, I get into a full-time role. I'm able to do that, and then on the side, I call it my side hustle. I'm hustling on the side and building my brand and building my business. So I have the cushion of a job, of a company like Microsoft that gives me my benefits, that gives me all the things that I need, and then I can actually have the freedom at the same time because Microsoft offers that to do other things on the side. But again, entrepreneurship as it stands by itself can be a difficult path because you don't have the benefits, you don't have the security. Your financial situation depends on that business that you're opening up. So it's a long term, it's never a short term, and there's a lot to be said about entrepreneurs, but it's really also exciting. So I recommend it. Just make sure that you seek the path and prepare for each path.
That was really insightful, ma'am, for the entrepreneurial mindset people in the attendee list. So now, Sajak, I can see you are raising your hand. So I'll allow Sajak Kothari to ask the question directly to ma'am.
Okay.
Sajak, you're good to go.
I guess Sajak has some audio issues, so I haven't allowed Tanisha to talk. Tanisha, you could unmute yourself.
Hello. Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. So I wanted to know, as you said, juniors and seniors can apply for the internship, and then you said after they graduate, they have a 12-month period through which they can apply again. What if you apply in your senior year and then you do the internship, And can you, is it like a rollover period, like the 3-year program which you said for management? Does that apply to SWE as well?
Yes. So what happens is when you come in as an intern, and if you're a senior, if you're applying for the 3-year program, which is offered in HR, for example, you do your first year, your rotation as an intern, and then you come in as a full-time and you finish those 2 years as a full-time. And then when you're done with the 3rd year, you get to choose based on your experience, what branch of HR or what function you would like to come into and basically build your career. That's how that would work.
I meant, do you have something similar to that for an SWE, not in terms of HR or finance, as a technical role?
Oh, for technical, no. So
Yeah.
for technical, no. Technical is typically the 12-week internship that will convert to a full-time employee. So if you're a senior, you will come, you will serve the 12 weeks, and then you will graduate, you'll go back, you will graduate. After you graduate, you come back as a full-time employee.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope Tanisha, your question was answered properly.
Hello.
So now I'll allow Mr. Anurag Bhardwaj to ask the question.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
I
sir.
can.
Okay, Miri, hi, good evening. And I'm
Hi.
professor in computer science department. And I have a query regarding PhDs. So can you brief me about PhD? Like, how can I go through it? Can I have a career with Microsoft? Like if I'm planning for PhD or something?
So, I mean, that will depend on the demand of the business, right? So again, it's really dependent. The career path that you take really will depend on what the business is demanding, what is right now where Microsoft is actually, which functional areas they're working on. So I really can't say that we would have an internship or a career path specifically for that. That same can be said for research. I mean, we just opened quantum internships because the demand allowed it. That was something that's new to us, and it's a new space. So it is dependent on where the business is going, what functional areas are demanding, interns, and then we open that headcount. So I really can't say. It really depends, and that's why it's really important that you check online to see what comes up, because these roles do come up as the demand needs it.
Okay, I will go through it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So hope your question was answered and it was really insightful. So as we are running out of time, so we'll start talking about the end session. So like just Frank Hubbard said, there is no real ending. It's just the place where you stop the story. The session that we experienced today was full of knowledge and insight. Everyone who attended this session would surely leave with a smile on their face and an increased self-belief that they too can direct their preparation to make it to the big league organization like Microsoft, the Hackoverflow Technical Society, and Chandigarh University. We're very indebted and thankful to ma'am that she took out her valuable time for sharing her experience and enlightening young minds. Now, I would like to invite the placement director of Chandigarh University, Ms. Himani Sood, to present a vote of thanks to Ms. Miri Rodriguez.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Hello, good evening. Hello, Mary, good evening. Hello.
A lot of people ask what it's like to work at Microsoft.
Please stop.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. You can go ahead.
Yeah, क्या हुआ? Namit ma'am is here?
Yes, Himani ma'am is here, as well as Miri ma'am is also here.
Okay. Himani, am I audible to you? I'm sorry for the delay, just taking one more minute. Yeah.
Has Miri left?
No, ma'am, she's here. Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here.
Good evening.
Hello.
I'm Professor Himani Sood, and I'm the Director Placements and Corporate Tie-Ups, Chandigarh University. Miri, thank you so very much for such an enlightening session. My students have really become better aspirants for the 2021 batch, thanks to all the inputs that you gave them. And I just wanted to add in, we have a long-standing relationship with Microsoft. Microsoft has started to hire interns 7 years back. And we are the only university in the country where we are having 100% conversion from past 5 years from internship to job offer roles. We are having 100% conversions.
Wonderful.
And students are performing very well. And we would want more of you. We would want more of your lectures, more of your insights, and more of your interactions. I will definitely write into you separately as well. Thank you so much for everything. And
Thank you so much.
when the COVID situation becomes better, we hope that we can host you in the university.
Oh, I was slated to go to Hyderabad actually in March, and then COVID happened. So I am excited to go to India. I do have a 10-year visa that I have not spent yet, so I'm excited to go, and I would love to be hosted. I will take you up on your offer to do more sessions, especially around storytelling and personal branding to students. I'm very excited to hear that we do source from your school. It's exciting to know that we do have a conversion, and I hope that we continue to do so and continue to partner with. Yeah, we know it very well, and we are excited. Thank you so much.
That's very kind of you. Thank you so very much. And we hope to host you with all the Punjabi food and the best students soon.
Oh, yes, please. All of it. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Very kind of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Himani ma'am, for enjoying your presence here. Yeah, Namit, you can carry forward from here.
So thank you so much, Miri ma'am, for giving such a valuable input, such insightful knowledge to all the students and all the attendees present here. We are very much thankful that you gave your such an important time to all of us and spending time with us. So we are very much thankful and honored to have you.
Thank you again. It was an honor for me. And if you didn't get your questions answered, please be sure to connect with me on LinkedIn or social media. I'll be happy to answer your questions there as well. Thank you for having me. It was an honor.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Bye. Okay, so Namit, it was a wonderful session. So yeah, we can now move on to our part of quiz. That's what we do at the end of every session. Jaskaran, can you please switch to the quiz part? Okay. So it's time to announce the winner of the previous challenge. Yeah, Namit, you can carry forward from here.
So the previous session was a wonderful one. The today's session was very insightful and knowledgeable one. So towards the end of the session, as all the participants know, that we announced the winners of the previous quiz. So the winners of the previous quizzes are: the first position goes to Rajat Kumar, the second position goes to Shreya Raj, and the third position goes to Jeevan Chandra Joshi. So have a round of applause for each and everyone present.
Okay, now it's time to play the main quiz of today's webinar. Yeah.
So the credentials for the today's quiz are on the screen. Each and everyone can see it. So go to kahoot.it and use the pin that has been displayed on the screen. So you'll jump to the quiz, and we have many prizes for those quizzes. So do participate with whole of heart, and we hope to see you soon for the next webinar.
Thank you so much for joining us, Namit, in this Hack One-on-One initiative. And again, I would like to thank all our attendees that who have joined us throughout the nation and the world. And I hope that you all guys have enjoyed the session. And it was a wonderful journey. We have started this event on 1 June, and now we are in the end of this whole month-long initiative. Today was the second last webinar of this series called Hack One-on-One, and we are going to host the last finale of this Hack One-on-One tomorrow. The speaker is Okay, Namit, can we release the speaker right now? Okay, can we break the chain? If
We
you're
can,
allowed, because he is the marketing head, I have to take permission from him. So if you're allowed, then
actually we can just tell them about some spoofs that what kind of person he is. Like he is a person who is in hacking, as well as he's a TEDx speaker, as well as he has worked with Mintra, the number one clothes branding company of India, and he has also many other things. He has worked with Harvard University. He has been in Harvard University also.
and he's been the faculty at Columbian University, USA.
Yeah.
He has completed his graduation from Stanford University. So we can't really reveal his name by now, but we will share the information as soon as possible in the next 1 hour. So stay tuned and join us tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Good
you so
evening.
much, all the attendees who have been the part of this journey, the Hack One-on-One. So as we have the last session lined up tomorrow, we hope that you show the same love and support to this initiative, as this is the last one of its kind. So yeah, thank you, stay safe, and take care. This is Namit Desai, the marketing head of Hackoverflow Technical Society, signing off.
A lot of people ask what it's like to work at Microsoft. Today, I'm going to show you. I'm Melissa Lim. I'm a program manager on Cortana, and I work on her personality. Hey, Cortana, what's it like to work at Microsoft?
I've heard it's pretty awesome, but you tell me.
Before I got here, I thought Microsoft was generally kind of old. Older, it wasn't as cool as a lot of the companies out on the scene, but we're doing really cool things these days, and a lot of our new software and hardware projects are just so exciting.
Everyone's starting to be like, Microsoft did that? Now our focus is moving just from HoloLens onto the whole holographic platform. And I just love the choices we're making. It feels like something I'm really proud to be a part of.